I don't know if you guys can tell, but my sweatshirt has drama, diamond, and lippy on it, and this was gifted to me. It's probably one of my favorite things that I own, and I need it for emotional support today. Hey guys, it's Sarah from Just My Typewriter, and I've been making videos on this YouTube channel for 8 or 9 years, and I've lost footage before, but I lost a lot of footage. And I wanted to talk about some of the projects that will just go unmade at this point because I've just kind of lost everything associated with them. Starting with the Adler J2. So I picked this up at a local thrift store for $15, $20. When I bought it, I didn't realize that the carriage return lever wasn't attached. Thankfully, it was in the case and I found it. And I was able to reattach it, but it didn't have a screw, and of course I broke the fin that kept it up. So I had to kind of figure out how to fix that. I went into my collection of bits and bobs and found a screw that would fit onto the carriage return lever itself, and then I also went in and manually bended a paper clip to hold it up into an upright position. It's not perfect, but it works. So that at least is a good start. I do have a little bit of footage from my phone. The casing itself was kind of wiggly in the machine. My mic's attached to it, so you can probably hear it. It used to wiggle, and it's because it was missing one of the plastic fins. The really tough thing about working with plastic-bodied machines like this is that once you break the plastic, it's really hard to get it back together. Instead of being able to reattach the plastic fin because it wasn't in the case, I went in and hot glued and then eventually epoxied in a paper clip to act as an extra fin, and now it holds into the case well so that shell isn't coming up off the bottom. I really like the Adler line of typewriters. I think they're really interesting. I've had a few of them. I really love my J3. It's a permanent piece for me. It was kind of nice to see this machine and realize that it's very similar to a lot of the machines I've worked on before. You can remove the full carriage, the casing comes off really nicely, so it was a nice little project, and I'm sorry I didn't get to give you a full video on that machine, but do know that I got the return lever back on, and it still kind of flops a lot, but it does enter the entire platen, and it does work, which is always the goal. Another project that I started filming was this Adler Satellite. How it's always Adler projects, I don't know. So this is an Adler Satellite, which is kind of an electric typewriter. It's more akin to an IBM, really. It does have a daisy wheel or a wheel writer system in there, and the inner mechanisms are kind of like an IBM, but a lot of it is computerized. It has a motherboard underneath the keyboard. So I bought this for half off day at Goodwill. It was $10. I bought it for $5. And I just thought I'd give it a try. It was sitting there and nobody else wanted it. It also has a really cool sticker up here that says Slate Belt Business Equipment Co. Now I currently live in the Slate Belt, and so I was really excited about finding out maybe where this was serviced. I haven't been able to find any information on that, and I actually asked you guys for help, and I had some footage about that, kind of trying to figure out where it came from. But this is an ongoing project because, well, I'm a little stuck. So these are letters off of the wheel that have fallen. Which sucks because I like the font. Just checking. It's unplugged, but that doesn't look like it belongs. A couple things came out here. We've got some more of these little letters off of the wheel. A ton of these were stuck underneath the type element. So my hope is by cleaning those out and then replacing them, that'll help. You can see here just some general dust. There is a cardboard section here at the back covering something electrical. I'm leaving it in there because I assume if it was in there, it's supposed to be, but I am getting some debris of that as well coming off. So hopefully with that, and then I think I'll go in and do a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on some of the inner parts just to make sure that they're working. And then some simple green on some of this top stuff to get rid of the smell because it smells pretty musty. Hopefully that's a good start, and then we'll see what happens from there. I mean, that worked. Okay. While that was happening, I also dislodged the line spacer and the coupling for the platen. So now I gotta figure out how I could put those back in. But hey,
maybe something's working.
The one issue I'm still having after all of this work is that it doesn't advance line by line. I'm hoping I'm still able to figure this out, and if you have any experience working on something like this, let me know in the comments below, because I could use some advice. This is a little outside my realm of knowledge, but I don't have enough to make a full video, so I wanted to put it in here as an ongoing project. But one project I did complete was an Olympia typewriter. So this is an Olympia Reporter that I found at a thrift store for $15. I did plug it in the store and nothing came on, but it sounded like there was electricity. I did look down past the side of the typewriter and saw that the drive belt had completely melted. I didn't know how bad it was until I opened up the typewriter to look at the drive belt. This is the first thing to go on a lot of electrics, and this is the worst drive belt melting I've ever seen. It had completely wrapped itself around the spindle here, and it took me quite a bit of effort to get it off. I did go through and try to pull it off with my fingers, but then I got a tar substance all over my hands. I tried to get it with isopropyl alcohol. Eventually, I went in with WD-40 and then PB Blaster and tinfoil wrapped the section just to pull that rubber off of there. After I cleaned all of this off, I was able to put on a new drive belt, and it worked perfectly fine.
Okay, moment of truth. That needs cleaned.
The last thing I did was test the typeface, and as you can see here, there was a shift height problem. I went in and adjusted the shift, and this is the final result. I've bought a lot of these, the Olympia body style electrics. I find them all the time. They're always under $20, and they usually just need a belt replacement. I did just recently rehome the Olympia that I had been working on for maybe a year and a half. I figured out all the problems on it and was able to rehome it to someone who loves it so much. It did break a belt after going home with them, and so I replaced it a second time for them for free, and now it's working perfectly. The belt replacement process is not a difficult one on electric typewriters, and I was able to tell in the store that that was the only thing wrong with it because I tested it, which I've learned to do now with electric typewriters. Test your electric typewriters in the store before purchasing them, and knowing that the belt was the thing I had to fix, even though it was pretty gross and gooey and not fun to work with, that was an easier fix to kind of put together, and so that was a successful project. In addition to those projects, I lost a lot of Barbie footage. I have, since the last full Barbie video, acquired maybe 3 or 4 new Barbie typewriters. I currently have 9 in my collection, and I had been archiving a lot of the information from them over the years, both on my website. I do have a whole section associated with that, as well as in my personal files. It's really hard to find information on the Barbie typewriters. If you Google Barbie typewriter, mostly my content comes up. So I guess I'm the archivist of these things, but I went through, and after losing everything, I started to think about how I could better archive all the aspects of the Barbie story. So I went through and I took pictures of every typewriter from every angle. I also started to scan all of their manuals and associated paperwork. I went through and took pictures of everything on the box, just so I have kind of a digital archive of all of these machines, and I am currently working on getting these to a museum. I think that would be a really cool kind of next step for the Barbie collection. I love having them here and having them just to look at and enjoy, and I may have the world's largest Barbie typewriter collection. As far as I know, I'm the only one collecting them. I do have just about every model now, between the 1976 dial style toy typewriter, which was from Mattel, going into the collegiate Barbie typewriter, which was sent to me by a subscriber and pen pal. I have the C193 models, and an E115, and an E17, and an E18. I also have, I don't know if I can grab it. Hold on. This. Oh gosh, there's so much cat hair on it. This is a Barbie Dolled Up Nails digital nail art printer. I found this on eBay and bought it because it matches hobbies of mine between nail polish and Barbie typewriters. I tried for maybe 6 months to get this to work. It does power on, and it has a CD with software on it. Unfortunately, I've not been able to find a computer that is old enough to run the software successfully. but I had footage on this too.
Okay, I just did all my like reference photos for them. And now I have to go through and do, I think, photos of ones that are similar together. And then I'm thinking about doing stop motion animation, but that will take forever. Excuse me? Drama? What are you even yelling about? She doesn't even know.
But it's not all bad, because I did get some machines working out of this collection of footage or out of this collection of projects. And at the end of it, I did, maybe several weeks after losing this footage and after trying to put together all of these things and recoup what I had lost footage-wise, I did find one of the machines on my bucket list. And I'm so excited to make a video about that and get to tell you guys about that story. And so that was like the nice little silver lining or positive thing at the end of that project. So here's where all that content went. If you guys are interested in more typewriter content like this, there are more videos on this YouTube channel, as well as on my Instagram at just.my.typewriter. Another thing I lost with all of this was all of my graphics, so I had to remake this, as well as my graphics for the end, all of my web graphics and arrows, all the music underneath everything I lost. So I have to find it to make this video. It's gonna be fine. I want to thank you all so much for watching and remind you that you're just my typewriter.